Welcome to this Football Manager 2018 video where I've holidayed 25 years into the future. Now this is the 5th video in my simulation series where I've holidayed 5, 10, 15, 20 and now 25 years into the future. If you want to check out the other years in a bit more detail, go and watch those videos. Once again, the save file is in the description below for those of you curious enough to look at it in even more detail than I show in this video. It is going to be the last video in this sort of mini series, the last time I simulate into the future on the FM18 beta. But once the full game has been released, come Friday, if you're watching this in the future, it's already been released. At the time of uploading, the game hasn't fully come out, but once that comes out, the editor will also be released, meaning I can get back to making Football Manager experiments. Of course, I've mentioned before that I started that sort of thing on YouTube. Had a break over the last year, but I want to get back into it. I'm looking forward to it. So if you've got any suggestions for Football Manager experiments, I'm always open to ideas. Stick them in the comment section below and I'll have a read and I'll add them all to a list. And then if one of them tickles my fancy, I will give it a go. Anyway, 25 years into the future, 2042, 16th of June 2042. Started with the world rankings. I'll just scroll down, I think, so everyone, wherever you're watching, you can see where your nation is in the world at present. You can see Scotland in 44th, Greece in 57th, Hungary in 61st. I'll keep going all the way to the bottom. Montenegro 86th. Any sort of Iceland all the way down in 93rd. Their golden generation has ended. And they've dropped all the way back down to where they started on this. Mongolia, that is quite high for Mongolia, 98th. If you've ever seen Mongolia on Football Manager, they are truly awful. I mean, New Zealand's pretty low, 112th. Not great for them, really, is it? Let's see who's at the bottom then. Bangladesh, 149th. Still going all the way. This has taken longer than I thought it would. Andorra, 210th, and Liechtenstein, 211th. And then there's these teams which don't even feature on the list. Competition-wise, Premier League still at the top. There are five-star reputation leagues on the game. Premier League, German First Division, Liga and Serie A, and the Spanish First Division, La Liga. Clubs-wise, regards to reputation, now West Ham are apparently the second highest reputation team in the world. Obviously, there's a few teams with 5 stars, so I don't know if this is in a particular order, but you can see they actually would have been first because they've dropped down a place here. PSG have moved above them. Wow. Let's have a look. This is the team I support, so it does have a little bit of personal interest for me, but also quite painful to see considering the real-life circumstances of West Ham United. But not bad. They've dropped to 4th in the league, but you can see they did manage to win it twice in a row. We'll have a look at that when we get to the Premier League and have a look at that in a bit more detail. But wow, first ever league wins in their history coming in 2038 and 39. That's good to see. But Chelsea, Man United still up there as you would expect. Marseille are up there. As we saw before, a couple Brazilian teams have very good reputation as well. Financially, if we go to turnover, Juventus have the biggest turnover. Then it's PSG. But Crystal Palace all the way up there in 6th. And even though West Ham, reputation-wise, they're not great in terms of, it's all right, 10th biggest. But wow, Crystal Palace in 7th place for whatever reason, despite finishing 15th in the league most recently. So that's pretty random. Let's start with the World Cup then. And we've had quite an unusual winner in the latest competition back in 2038. Czech Republic. That is really quite random, isn't it? In fact, we're in the middle of a World Cup as it stands, but let's go back to 2038 to see who took part in this competition. You can see Mexico, Ecuador qualified from Group A, Colombia and Croatia, Germany and Portugal, France. Czech Republic finished 2nd in their group and only got 4 points, but went on to win the World Cup. That's a pretty astonishing story. Did England even qualify here? I can't see them anywhere. That is, wow, turn up for the books. You can see semi-final wise, Croatia won in extra time against Romania and Brazil lost against Czech Republic. Third place playoff, Brazil won on penalties against Romania, and then the final, Czech Republic beat Croatia 2-1. Well done to Czech Republic. Let's have a look at them then. Hands up if you're from Czech Republic in the comment section below. 13th in the world as it stands, but of course they did rise to the top after winning the World Cup. In fact, they only got to second, they didn't get to first. But their best player, the best two players, play for Chelsea. This guy's 21 and he's got 53 caps for his country. That is incredible. 53 caps by the age of 21. And Martin Delazzo, 27-year-old with 80 caps. Maybe they've produced a really good golden generation to go on and win the World Cup. Brilliant achievement from them. The European Championships, we've seen quite boring winners, really. The teams you would expect to win. The biggest surprise, I suppose, was Hungary managing to get to the final in 2032, but the two most recent winners, Italy and Portugal, is kind of what you would expect, isn't it? Let's just go back to the 2040 competition. You can see England and Belgium at the top of their group. They're Georgia qualifying. That's brilliant. Someone unexpected. Cyprus also qualified. That's fantastic. I like to see that. Semi-final, we'll just skip ahead to that. Wow, what a semi-final that is. Spain beat England 5-3. We can't have a look at that. Portugal beat France. And then in the final, Portugal beat Spain 2-1. Well, Golden Ball then, or the Ballon d'Or. These are the most recent winners. So we saw a West Ham player win it a few years ago, but since then, I suppose there's not been massive surprises. Barcelona guy, these are all regions, of course, and like I've said before, because we're on the FM18 beta, there's no region faces, but they will appear on the full release game. A Spurs player winning it, that's a little bit of a turn up for the books, I suppose, but Spurs are a very powerful team on Football Manager generally, but it was a Greek player to win it, which is quite unusual. 111 caps for his country at the age of 31, looks like a decent player, so he won it when he was 28. There's a Polish chap appearing, Marek, he's actually retired now. So he finished second at the age of 36. That's amazing. Axel Etienne, a Belgian, managed to win it in 2000 and whatever, can't remember, 2039 I think. He's got 71 caps for Belgium. He plays for Bayern Munich. 2040, we saw another Spanish player win it. They have dominated on this, to be honest. And the most recent winner was from Chile, a Man United player, Eduardo Jorquera. I do apologise once again for any pronunciations I murder during this video. And as we've seen before, there are 3 sort of World Player of the Year awards, but it generally is the same players that feature in all 3. I'll just scroll through so you can have a look. It doesn't really mean much, the names, because they are all regions, but you might see the club that you support or the country that you're from, which is worth celebrating, even if it is only in a virtual parallel universe. Well, Team of the Year, we'll just go back a few years to have a look. You can just pause the video if you want to see if any of the team that you support or the country you're from. In fact, you can't see the country where you're from. You can only see the team that you support on this. But yeah, by this point, as I've explained before, it's just regens. It doesn't mean a huge amount, the names. Although you might see a player with the same name as you, which would be pretty cool. Like you might be called Ayhan Nizrugura, and you've just featured in the World Team of the Year in 2039, 2040, 2041, and this is the overall list. This is more interesting. The overall list for all 25 years. So Neuer is still the goalkeeper featured here. Bonucci, Regani and Alaba are in the back 4, real life players. De Bruyne, we've got Mbappe, and Messi has now moved up front. Strangely, he didn't actually feature in any of these overall 11s in any of the previous videos, and suddenly in the last one it's just pushed him up front for no reason. That's a bit weird. I don't know how it decides that, to be honest. Let's go and look at the Champions League then. Here we go then. As you can see, PSG have dominated recently, although West Ham finally won the Champions League. I feel like they deserved that after, well, they finished runners-up 3 times on this. You can see Chelsea beat West Ham 5 years ago. Then West Ham beat Chelsea, reversed that. PSG then beat West Ham. PSG beat Benfica, and then they beat Man United. 3 in a row for PSG. Not bad going at all. Euro Cup-wise, Leverkusen have managed to win it twice in a row against Spurs, then Man City. Then Man City won it twice in a row, and then Lazio beat Wolfsburg in the most recent final. The Premier League then. As we saw, West Ham have managed to win it twice in a row. Pretty good achievement. They also finished second in a couple of seasons recently as well. Spurs have managed to win it for the first time since that first season on this save. and then Chelsea won it. So the Man City dominance has certainly ended. If we just look at the most recent league table, Man City all the way down in 6th, Burnley doing well up in 7th, well done to them. Teams relegated, Everton have just been relegated, bottom of the table. I'm just going to skip down the divisions because I was asked to do this. If you want to just pause it, then you're welcome to, just to see where your team is. You can see West Brom won the most recent championship season. You can see the past winners as well over this side. Would it? No, I'll keep it on this view because then you can see top goal scorers. You can see if it's your club featuring as top goal scorer. Norwich won League One, so they were relegated to this level by this point. Eastleigh up in 16th. It's where I live now, but they're in the National League and they've flown up to League One, which is great to see. I suppose by this point we could see anything really. This is League 2, which was won by Cambridge. Billericay up in 16th, so they've managed to make it to the Football League. The team that's got quite a bit of money in, is it the 7th tier of English football I think they're in? So you can see here, promoted from the national. In fact, they got to League 1. They were in League 1 for many years before being relegated. So well done to Billericay down there. That's another local team to where I'm originally from anyway. This is the National League, which was won by York. Is there any surprising teams in here? Walsall down there. Wimbledon. My place of birth, Chelmsford. They're in the National League. They managed to get promoted finally. National League South was won by Fleetwood. I'm kind of expecting like a really random team to... Oh, Doncaster. That's quite random. They've been relegated to this level. That's pretty poor from them. And the National League South, most recently won by Chippenham. Poole also going up. Is there any crazy teams in here? I can't see any really. Dagenham and Redbridge aren't having a great time, are they? FA Cup then. Oh, wow. Notts County have won the FA Cup. That is fantastic. They're in League 1 at the moment. Wait, where were they when they won the FA Cup? So they were relegated last... I think they were in the Championship. That is brilliant. Notts County, so they're the first second-tier English team to win the FA Cup, I think, since West Ham in 1980. I think that's a fact and a half. But yeah, so West Ham have managed to win it 4 times in recent years, but Notts County beating Swansea in the 2040-41 final. That is absolutely fantastic. Carabao Cup, finally... traditional big team has lost out in 2040-41 with Burnley managing to win it. Moving on to Spain then, this is La Liga. Now I've only loaded 5 leagues as I've explained before. English, the English League, Spanish, German, French and Italian. And I think I've only done the top divisions from each of the other ones apart from the English. But you can see Barcelona have dominated in recent years. Real Madrid have managed to win 1 title, that was last year. We did see Barcelona's dominance completely vanished during this period, but they have come back to the forefront, and yeah, they are the dominant force. How many times can I say the word dominant in about 2 sentences? Ligue 1 then, PSG have returned to dominance. They've been dominant most of the time. I'm saying dominant again, but Monaco, for a while, they were very successful, but then PSG have come back to fruition. Saint-Etienne have done quite well on this save as well. They did manage to win 1 league title and they finished 2nd 3 years in a row, you can see there. In fact, that's great. I think, didn't I mention in the last video that I wanted Saint-Etienne to go on and win it? And they have. So well done to them. Serie A then, recently, it's been won by Lazio. Lazio have been quite a successful team on this save. They've won the league a few times. Juventus, of course, they've won the most league titles on this save. Are there any surprises in here? Atalanta have done quite well. Sampdoria featured in 3rd place as well. Crotone was the biggest surprise, finishing 2nd. And lastly, from the leagues that I've loaded, the German First Division, which was won by Leipzig most recently. Schalke have been pretty good on this save as well. Bayern Munich, as you would expect, have been very successful. This guy, Axel Etienne, I think we saw it. Didn't he win World Player of the Year, in fact? He was top goal scorer this year with 30 goals. That's not bad for a division that only has 18 teams as well, so it's less games compared to the Premier League. And for those of you that are from Portugal, I know there's quite a few of you that watch my videos, I thought I'd show this. Nothing has really changed. Sporting have finished 3rd about 15 years in a row, and it's been swapped between Porto and Benfica. I think Benfica probably won the most looking at that. In fact, I'm pretty certain they have. Sporting have only managed to win it once. MLS as well, because there's plenty of you from America that watch my videos. And I think we should look at Scotland. But I imagine Celtic have won it every year. Rangers won it once, didn't they? But you can see here, New York City FC doing very well. They're the most successful team. Seattle, they're a pretty good team in America as well, aren't they? So they've managed to win it a few times. New York Red Bulls managed to win it. LA Galaxy a few times. Ladbrokes Premiership then, yeah. Boring. Rangers right in the middle there, all by themselves. But Celtic, so dominant. So I think we'll end it there, guys. Thank you for watching all these simulation videos. There's been some intriguing things. There's been a few surprises. There's been also some quite boring results, especially looking at the Scottish Premiership there. If you have enjoyed these videos, please hit that like button. Also, if you're looking forward to my experiments, give the video a like as well. That'd be much appreciated. Like I said, if you've got any ideas, stick them in the comment section below or tweet me. Follow me on @golden_FM. Until next time, enjoy Football Manager. I'll see you very soon.